Today's episode of The Scoop. If you are new to my channel, The Scoop is our opportunity to catch up, have a cup of coffee together, just kind of hang out and chat, talk about what's been going on over the course of the week, and I love chatting with you guys in the comments, so make sure to leave comments below about what you've been up to. So grab something to drink, whether that be coffee or water or whatever it is that you want, and let's get into it. It is so nice to be sitting in front of the camera like this. It has been a long time. I did Vlogaka for 8 days during Hanukkah. So Vlogaka, I kind of came up with the idea because of Vlogmas. I follow a few different YouTubers who literally videoed every single day in December. And I can't imagine doing that for a few reasons. One, it seems really difficult. I find it very impressive that people can do that. But two, it also seems to me that if you're filming all the time, it can kind of invade your personal life in a way where it feels like you're not living for the day, you're living for the camera. And I did experience that a little bit, but what I was thinking for Vlogaka was that I could do it for 8 days. I could video myself for 8 days, share kind of what a day in my life is like, and share Hanukkah and the Jewish traditions with you guys. So it was really fun, but it was really different than I expected. In my mind, I thought it was gonna be pretty easy. I thought I could just film every day, show you guys what I was up to, edit it pretty quickly, and put it up. But it's 8 days in a row, so you're filming every single day, and you have to think about, okay, what do I want to film today? I'm not gonna film everything, obviously, because a lot of the stuff I do is boring. It's mostly sitting in front of my computer. And how do I kind of record things as well as edit them and post them? It ended up being...
Oh yeah, my Abby impersonation. Here we go. My lungs. Hi, my name is Abigail Shapiro. The difference between me and Abigail Shapiro is that I know that I suck. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
A way bigger project than I anticipated. And even though I had a really fun time sharing all of that with you, and I'm really excited to look back in a few years because I'll have this as kind of a diary of what we did in Hanukkah of 2020, it was hard. It was really hard to just kind of know what to record and make the time for everything. I was under the impression that I would actually have more time during Vlogaka because it's not as creative as some of my other content. I'm not having to come up with original ideas.
Wait a minute.
I'm just showing you guys what I'm up
Same
to.
shirt?
So I thought, hey,
nice.
maybe that'll be a little bit easier. It was not. It was its own, animal, but I had a really great time and I'm so excited I got to share it with you guys. And I think a lot of you guys enjoyed it too. So that was pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I know some of you guys have asked me to keep doing vlogs. I think I'll kind of do vlogs here and there. I did some vlogs before the Vlogaka, so it's not like that was my very first time, but it's not generally the content I put on my channel. But leave me in the comments below, what was your favorite day of Vlogaka if you watched? I would love to hear maybe what your favorite treat was that I made, because one of the things that I did during Vlogaka, Hanukkah, is I made a different treat every single day for Jacob to bring into work. And oh my gosh, that brings me to my next point. Since Vlogaka, I have had a revivified love of baking and cooking. So when you're working and stuff like that, I think that cooking can start to feel very utilitarian. It feels like, okay, we need to get food on the table, I need to have food ready by this time, and we just kind of need to eat. And so you kind of stick with a few recipes that you just know and can do really quickly. And I do enjoy that because it's so practical. But in doing Vlogaka and in doing these treats that I made for Jacob's office, I was trying recipes I had never tried before. And I remembered how much I enjoy it. And it really inspired me to keep doing that. Now, can I do that every single night of the week? Probably not, but I can do it more often than I was. And also, great tip and trick is that if you want to
Is she
bake
wearing
something,
makeup?
but you don't want
Yeah.
to eat the whole thing because maybe you're trying to be healthier or whatever, you can...
Yeah, she's wearing a full face of makeup. What do you mean? She's wearing a full... Look, she has a full... She has a full concealer-based full coverage. You can see that she has used the contour technique to bronze her cheekbones. She has highlighter, and then she has a full eye makeup done. It's just It's just lights. It's just neutral palettes. She's wearing makeup and she's wearing lipstick.
Bake something, you and your husband can share it a little bit, and then he can take the rest into his office. That totally changed my mind about baking, because for a really long time I wasn't baking at all, because I was so kind of concerned about if there's treats in the house, it's very hard for me not to eat them. And so I just didn't want to have those hanging around. So then I thought to myself, okay, if I make a whole thing of baked goods, Jacob can take a lot of those to his office and we can just share a few. So that has changed my mind and opened my mind to baking again, which I'm so excited about. And also just trying new recipes. Making that Israeli food, making the hummus, making the pita bread, it just made me really excited about cooking and baking. So I am really excited about this because I think I can make this into more of a hobby than I had been doing previously. And since I'm talking about that, leave in the comments below your favorite recipes. I love seeing what you guys are making. That kind of stuff is really inspiring, and I like seeing kind of what you guys like to cook in your kitchens. So leave those in the comments and I'll click through and try some. Another thing I wanted to talk about is something that I've been doing lately that I feel like is
Yeah, when is she going to get to the good stuff? Tell us about how you went to a super spreader event and you put yourself and your kids at risk for contracting COVID-19. But again, even if Abigail Shapiro and her kids did get COVID-19 from going to Disney World, it's not like she will be in the same predicament as a lower income family who might not have good insurance or any insurance at all. But let's go back to the way that Abigail Shapiro gets really fucking excited over the prospect of baking. Is not something that I feel is dunkable, which is the reason why I have nothing to say other than, you know, the fact that she is clearly just very proud to be asserting herself into the position of a traditional housewife and leaning into like those roles that, I don't know, just kind of like totally is your prerogative if you're into that kind of thing. I do think it's well within your right to decide whether or not you want to be a traditional housewife or not. It's quite another thing whenever you try to promote this idea that traditional heteronormative values are somehow the right way to live, right? And try to influence those in their formative years who might be incredibly impressionable that you are living the right way, I think is incredibly toxic. I'm getting tempted to bake. Riveting content. Look, also, I'm a little bored myself by listening about how Abigail Shapiro got off on the idea that she could like bake new things that she doesn't bake, and it was really fun, and like she was enjoying these new kind of recipes, and like obviously y'all sit around and listen to me talk about shit all day. So I guess it's totally like different strokes for different folks. If you're into that kind of thing, I guess you might be more inclined to listen. But again, I have an issue with what Abigail Shapiro promotes and brands as the right way to live your life, right? She does try to promote this idea of traditional values and social norms that every woman should be ascribing to, and I think that's inherently dangerous, and that's the one thing that I'll mention time and time again. She's a succubus. All right, though. I don't know if you can say that. I was talking about Abby's content. It wasn't clear. No. I understood that because I was feeling the same way, that it's kind of hard to believe that people like tune into this. But again, that's why I say different strokes for different folks. If people do think that she's interesting or she has something like fascinating to say, I guess yeah, that's your prerogative. Cat eye tutorial, seriously? I sure can't do that on my own. Wait, chat, you want me to do it? I'll do a cat eye tutorial at some point, I promise. I have like, there's like different There's like different... Let's see. There's different levels of boldness for the cat eye. This one's pretty tame. It's pretty... I did a pretty simple cat eye. Sometimes it can go all the way up to like my eyebrow. Do other animals inspire your look? Animals? What? What does that even mean? Nope, just the cat. They're just called the cat eye. I don't know. Y'all are weird sometimes.
Really important for mental health, and I think I'd really like to carry it through to 2021. So for a long time, my kind of cleaning method was to leave everything.
Like, let's not be mistaken. Even though Abby comes across as very kind and very well-mannered, it's the way that she goes about attempting to shame women who fall outside the purview of what she considers to be normal. That is what makes her incredibly toxic, right? Where she has in her mind a very specific way that a woman should live her life. And anyone who falls outside of the scope of this idealization is wrong. And that is, yes, that is incredibly toxic. So let's not make any mistake here that the way that Abigail Shapiro conducts herself is not toxic. She doesn't speak in harsh tones. She is very apparently or seemingly soft-spoken. She even comes across as very well-mannered and ladylike. And I'm sure that's all part of her brand, obviously. It's the context of her messaging that you have to pay special attention to. That's toxic.
Sort of towards the weekend. And I would tidy up here and there, but it was really more haphazard. And by the time we got to the weekend, I would have to spend a long time cleaning up the house. And just more recently, I started taking about an hour every morning and really cleaning the house. Really taking the time to tidy up, make sure everything is in its place, and then the house is clean for the rest of the day. And I feel so much more productive, so much better, and not distracted by the thought that I have to go clean stuff because stuff is already clean. Now, this goes hand in hand with something else I'm gonna talk about, but I've been waking up earlier, and by waking up earlier, I can get stuff done before my actual workday starts. I used to wake up at 8:30, and if I did anything from the time I woke up, I wasn't starting work until 10. And that's just not really practical. So waking up a little bit earlier and going to the gym, which is the other thing I want to talk about, and tidying up before I start my workday has been such a huge game changer. So just taking an...
What do you think Abigail Shapiro's workday consists of? Again, these vlogs are for privileged stay-at-home housewives. All right? Oh, God. She's taking notes from Amy C3 streams? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Most women have to go out into the workforce to be able to take care of themselves and their families. Most women don't even have the opportunity to clean their house for an hour and go to the gym before they start their work day. Most women are forced to stick to a very tight work schedule because they don't have the luxury of staying at home or working from home. I bet that very few women do find Abigail Shapiro's messaging to be helpful to them. In all reality, I would go so far to say that maybe Abigail Shapiro is really highlighting her privilege in that she can be very flexible with her own time because she has no real constraints to her schedule because she has the luxury of working from home, maybe because she is a stay-at-home housewife who has found an opportunity to become a social media influencer. This is not an opportunity that's afforded to most women, only only those who have decided to be subservient to a man, to be a stay-at-home housewife. And this is just the opportunity to take some points from how Abigail Shapiro lives her life and the way that she stays productive with her very open schedule. And that might be the reason why a lot of people don't find value in Abigail Shapiro's vlog. Now, again, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want with your time. But I just don't understand how you might be incredibly tone deaf to how limited your audience is, or you are very well aware of it. This could be something she's incredibly cognizant of and she doesn't care because she has a very targeted audience she is trying to reach. That's Ben Shapiro's sister. So again, like, I'm sorry that I'm putting you through this portion of her vlog because it appears to be for a very specific intended audience. We're trying to get to the part where she talks about taking her kids to Disneyland Disney World during a pandemic. What experience do you have that you understand that women do? Are you a woman or something? Yeah. Obviously.
An hour each morning, maybe less, maybe half an hour, to tidy up around the house before starting work. So good. And then when I get to the weekend, instead of having to clean the house and tidy, I can vacuum, which is so much better. So yeah, that's kind of been how I've been dealing with cleaning lately. If you guys have any good cleaning tips, I know that there are so many different techniques and things out there to kind of help you organize your cleaning schedule. I'd love to hear them. So kind of going hand in hand.
Wait a minute. Just because you are a stay-at-home wife, mother, that doesn't mean you are subservient to a man. My mother was a stay-at-home wife, yet she led our household growing up. You mean to tell me that your mother took on the traditional roles of a woman in the household? Because if you're saying that she was acting as the head of household, she was in charge of getting the kids ready, taking them to school, fixing the meals, cleaning the house, then it sounds like your mom was subscribing to the traditional social norms that have been applied to men and women since the inception of this country. And well, before that, I mean, our traditional social norms go back much further than the United States, of course, or the foundation of the United States. But with the United States came a new social fabric and a new patriarchy and a new misogynist application of social norms that did keep women down and did oppress women in this country. And so, I mean, I don't mean to offend you. And I'm not saying that by becoming a traditional housewife, you are automatically subservient to men, because I do believe some women just want to be stay-at-home housewives, and that's your prerogative. And that if that's your mother, then that's all good. And I don't mean to offend you, I promise. But far too often, women had no choice but to be subservient to men. And they had no choice but to take on the role of a housewife, and they didn't have the opportunity to experience self-determination. They were forced to rely heavily on a man in order to survive. And I think some women do continue to ascribe to these ideas of traditional heteronormative values because of their religious ties to these social values. And that is inherently the problem, because it doesn't necessarily mean that these are rights. It just means that it's what you're most comfortable with, or that you feel like this is the right way to live based on how your religious highlights these social norms as the correct way to live your life as a woman or a man. And again, limiting this to the binary roles of men versus women is also a little antiquated, a little outdated, And another reason why we should try to push beyond the heteronormativity that tends to hold our social fabrics together in this country and look to construct a new social contract that works for everyone, that doesn't necessarily rely on gender essentialism. My mother made big decisions like deciding what activities my siblings and I did. My mother decided how much we spent on things like furniture and vacations, despite the fact that my father brought home the money. My father would always say it was a female-led household. Overthrow the gender binary. Overthrow the patriarchy. Hey, what's going on, Canadian Brunch? That's what I'm saying.
And with that, I did want to talk about how I'm exercising. I am in such a good place with my exercising routine. And I know, just like you guys probably, my exercising routine kind of fluctuates how I'm feeling about it, if I'm feeling positively or negatively about going to the gym. Lately, it has been so good. And it is because I've been doing something I enjoy. So I have been going on the elliptical 5 days a week, which makes me feel strong and good. And it gives me a routine in the morning. It's the first thing I do. And then I have been doing weightlifting 3 times a week. And I think what has really helped is treating the gym like I have to do it every day. Because if I do it 3 times a week, it's really easy for me to end up skipping more days than just one every other day. And so if I was working out, let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the gym, if I skipped Tuesday, then I could skip Wednesday. But if it's a routine and it's the first thing I do every morning, then I don't have that same issue. Then it's just, okay, this is what I do every morning. I just go to the gym and I work out. And so 5 days a week I do elliptical, 3 days a week I do weightlifting, and I feel so good about it. Are you guys into weightlifting? I know some women are not huge fans, but more and more women I'm talking to have really shared with me that they enjoy weightlifting. Now, I also kind of changed my weightlifting routine because now I'm doing just kind of more simple exercises, and I think I actually prefer that. I prefer to just kind of work.
Did we get debated by Abigail Shapiro?
A few different things as opposed to changing something up every day. I like to just kind of focus on certain things, and that has been really good for me. The next thing I want to talk about is the most exciting thing
I made a comment about Abby
that I
a
have to
while
talk
ago
about,
that was a little over the line
that
insensitive and might be offensive in retrospect. I am sorry, didn't mean it that way. I see it, and I apologize if it was offensive to anyone other than Abby.
Maverick, I don't know what you said, but I'm sure it's fine. Thank you for the donation.
I went to Disney World. I know, I've never been to Disney World. I grew up in LA, so I did go to Disneyland, but I'd never been to Disney World.
Here we go.
And when quarantine hit, I really kind of used Disney World as an escape from what was going on. And so I just started watching a lot of videos about it, kind of looking into different things that they do at the parks and how they're different from Disneyland, and there's 4 parks for Disney World actually, which I didn't know before I kind of started looking into this during quarantine. And it was such a good way for me to kind of find joy when we were all kind of stuck at home. And so for me to actually get to go this year was so cool. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my experience, because I went to Disney World during a pandemic. So how was my experience? How did I make that work? So I did have to wear my mask the entire day, and everyone else was wearing their masks too. So actually, I did want to share that I did buy some cotton masks on Amazon, just cotton washable masks. Those have made a huge difference for my skin. Huge. I was getting horrible maskne and breakouts, and now I'm using these cotton masks. I have not had that issue, which is so exciting. I have so much relief about that, because I was so stressed every time I put on mask for a long time. I felt like my face was gonna break out, and I wore that mask the entire day and did not have an issue. So that was really exciting. We also went on a day that it was not that hot outside.
I'm really glad that Abigail Shapiro decided to wear a mask during a pandemic because I'm sure that she had to. Stop trying to make maskne a thing. It's not going to happen. Honestly, hold the fuck up. Let me just be real honest with you. Let me keep it 100. Chat, even though masks need the word, it's stupid, it's fucking real, okay? I've experienced plenty of mask-related breakouts whenever I'm sweating and I'm wearing my mask, and it is real and it is a thing. It's just weird whenever Abigail Shapiro says it because it's like, I don't know. She's just trying to be up with pop culture and it's weird. My wife does too. Yeah, that's because it's a real thing. That's actually a real thing. It happens. Especially if you wear makeup. If you're wearing makeup and you're sweating and you're wearing a mask, there's a possibility that you're going to break out. So far, Amy has agreed with Abby more than dunked. Stop. I don't. She's down with the young people. Okay, stop. I'm not agreeing with Abigail Shapiro. I'm just saying that maskne is a real thing, all right? just because Abigail maybe confirms it or solidifies its existence doesn't mean that it doesn't make the issue any less real. Oh my god, stop, chat, stop. Okay.
It wasn't terrible to wear a mask all day. Now, I don't know if depending on the mask that you're wearing, it might be more uncomfortable. The one that I have is a cotton mask and it is slightly breathable, I suppose, but it's not thin. So I didn't have an issue, but I know that maybe some people wouldn't be comfortable with that. It was also interesting because the parks are at much lower capacity right now. Because they don't want crowding and they don't want people kind of clumping. They want social distancing. So it was actually lovely. There were not that many people there. People were not kind of getting in each other's faces. People were very respectful of their distances, and the lines...
What was Abigail Shapiro expecting if she went to Disney World during a pandemic? Of course, whenever Disney World originally tried to open its doors in the summer, they had a significant uptake in COVID-19 related cases, which required them to reduce the total number who could be in the park at any given time. Why does she seem so surprised that it was a really easy trip to Disney World because not a lot of people were there, not a lot of crowding, of course, because nobody is really jumping at the opportunity to put themselves or their kids at risk of contracting COVID-19 by, toting the family in their minivans and taking them all down to Disney World. She seems like genuinely surprised that not there. She seems so shocked that there aren't more people who right now are attempting to defy, maybe not local ordinance, but unspoken social cues, provided to people that maybe it's not the best time to be taking your family to these public spaces, even if they are technically complying with local ordinance. It's almost like she seems surprised that more people aren't willing to risk themselves or their families right now during a pandemic just to, I don't know, have an enjoyable experience at Disney World, knowing that, the lines aren't going to be as long. Interesting. How many kids does Abigail Shapiro have? I don't really care. Don't answer that.
Might look long, but then they never were long. Even sometimes the posted waits were much shorter. I got into a line that was supposed to be 30 minutes and it ended up being a walk-on. Like I just walked through the whole line, which was really cool. And from what I could see, Disney was really taking care to keep everybody safe.
Who has the cash
really
to go
safe.
Who has the cash to go to Disney World in this economy? Yeah, the whole thing about Abigail Shapiro is that she is literally promoting her idea of being a privileged woman in this country. Of course, she isn't strapped for cash. She is right now talking about how she had the opportunity to take her kids to Disney World, and it was quite convenient for her, in fact. This is hard to watch. I'm sorry. Again, Abigail Shapiro's vlogs are not for everyone. She has a very specific intended audience. And it's people who live like her, or maybe impressionable young women who she is going to try to shame into some sort of submissiveness herself, because she thinks that we are at the brink of a real issue here, where too many women are not leaning in or adopting traditional values. And I believe the first video I ever saw of her was talking about how she fears that too many young women are completely giving up on their, get ready for it, femininity, on top of our perceived social norms and values that we should embrace instead of trying to run away from, i.e., women taking on the role of a feminist instead of a traditional housewife. And she takes issue with that as well. Anyway, I'd love to get back to see her response to the limited lines of Disney World, if you don't mind.
I felt like I could have a really wonderful time, and I am so glad that I went. So if you are considering going to Disney World, if you're somebody who is a little nervous about it, I think that it was okay, and I had a really great time with my husband. Now, Jacob, he's been to Disney World before, so it wasn't as a huge of an event for him, but for me, it was really exciting, and I'm really excited I got to go. So we actually went to Animal Kingdom, and we got to see all the safaris. It was really great because it wasn't that hot out, so all the animals were out. We could see everything, which was really, really cool. And after we went to Disney World, we went to Disney Springs. Now, Disney Springs was a lot more crowded, but again, I didn't feel unsafe, but I know that some people might. Yes, but Disney Springs
I did not feel unsafe because obviously I am not hurting right now financially, and I can afford to incur emergency services in the event that either me or one of my family members contract COVID-19. I am not strapped for cash. I have a very comprehensive insurance package. I will not experience any burden related to health-related issues because of my financial status right now. And for this reason, I took no issue with, walking into a little bit more crowded area to see all of the cute little animals. I'm not jealous, by the way, that Abigail Shapiro had the opportunity to go hang out with some animals, by the way, because I'm bigger than that. And I understand that it would be stupid. It would be stupid to be jealous of Abigail Shapiro having the opportunity to hang out with the animals at Animal Kingdom in Disney World.
Super cool. I look forward to going back to Disney World at some point. I want to go to all 4 parks, and I think going to Disney Springs in the evenings is awesome. I'm a big fan. I had a great time. Let me know in the comments if you've been to Disney World. What was your favorite park, or what was your favorite ride? I'd really like to hear. I wanted to talk a little bit about what I've been watching. So I watched The Queen's Gambit. Let me know, did you guys watch it? Because I wasn't going to watch it. I think I was kind of put off by the fact that everyone was obsessed with it. I was like, I'll just watch it later. So I ended up watching it, I guess, a little bit after it was really, really popular. Anya Taylor-Joy was in it, and I don't love her. I'm not the biggest fan of hers. She was very, very good in this, though. So it's not to say that she's a bad actress. I just don't think that, I don't know. She's not my favorite actress, but she was really, really good in this. I thought the show was worth watching. I liked that it was about chess. I think that's really cool. I liked that it was happening in a different era. There's that really cool, costume design and all that is really interesting. I think it's hard to watch because it's about substance abuse. It's about a woman who's going through a lot. And, the fact of the matter is, this is a woman who is obsessed with one thing and pursuing that one passion. And all of the other stuff that matters gets pushed to the wayside. And it's, it is her struggle, it is her story, and I don't think that that's kind of what she would have wanted, right? I don't think that she was looking to push everyone away. I think that that was a result of...
I'm pretty sure The Queen's Gambit is about an orphan who tries to find some way to channel all of her inner rage, and she ends up finding success in channeling all of that inner struggle and inner conflict in her chess play in playing the game of chess. And then she also struggles with substance abuse on the side. The show is about psychic powers? No. Is it good? Yes, I think it's good. The show isn't about psychic powers. The character herself has a photo memory. She has what is it called? Photographic memory, where she uses the chess piece the chessboard that she envisions on her ceiling in order to strategize and play the game whenever she's not playing the game right in front of her. Psychic. No, she has a photographic memory. Is that about the chess protege? Yes. And so that's how she practices whenever she's not playing the actual game. She memorized the chess board and the chess pieces, and she uses her imagination to practice whenever she's not playing chess. It's not about being a psychic. She uses her mind palace. So she's not Matilda.
Kind of her past. I think it's a very fascinating character study, and they build tension really well. It's a well done show. And
photographic memory
I would
is a psychic power.
Depending
no, it's
on
not.
Kind of what vibe you're looking for in a show. But if you've watched it, let me know in the comments what you thought. I'd also love to know if you guys had good holidays. I'd love to hear from you all if you were able to spend it with family, or if you weren't, if you made a special at home. I'd really love to hear. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out when you do that, and make sure to ring that notification bell because it'll let you know every time I post a new video. I'd also love if you guys would go and follow me over on all of my socials. It's Classically Abby absolutely everywhere. And if you guys want to donate and support my channel, feel free to head over to classicallyabby.locals.com.
Excuse me. Being a psychic means reading your deepest, darkest fears through the internet. Not having a photographic memory. She's so annoying. Oh my god. Yeah, she is. I mean, I'm really upset that she spent about 2 minutes describing her experience at Disney World. Really got us with the clickbait. Disney World is open because of Florida. Disneyland is closed because of California, right? Yep. Yeah, that video sucked my energy. Sorry. Okay, if anybody walked away from that video thinking that they have more in common with Abigail Shapiro than they realize, then I don't know what to tell you. Because the only thing that I have in common with Abigail Shapiro is that we both get maskne, which is a very common thing. And we both liked Queen's Gambit. Okay, yes. And like to bake. These are really common things. These are incredibly common things. I've decided that Abigail Shapiro is right about everything. Canadian brunch. Oh my god, stop it.